So I chose to go down the route of an apprenticeship, mainly because I thought that the full-time education system was not as well suited to me. As a kinesthetic learner, I do a lot better learning on the job while I'm learning in the classroom at the same time. Getting the experience I need would really push me to my best abilities. What I enjoy about the construction industry is being able to see a project start from the ground up through pre-con, right the way through to a finished project and practical completion, and having the understanding of all the different processes throughout it. So as a trainee quantity surveyor, my typical day can range from procurement, with speaking to subcontractors and putting together a scope of work to place as a package, and then leading on to evaluations of the works that have been completed on site and making sure that the subcontractor and all of our supply chain is paid for the works that they complete on site and in a fair and in-time manner. Throughout my role as a trainee quantity surveyor, Morgan Sindall have been supporting me in many ways, with one of those being working closely with an active QS on site. So throughout my training and throughout my day job, if there's any questions I have or any needs that I have, my quantity surveyor will be there to give me some assistance and guidance to point me in the right direction. I'm currently on 2 live projects at the moment, acting as an assistant QS to the project QS. So as the weeks go on, I'm looking to gain a lot more responsibility in the procurement side of the job, especially with the second live project I'm on. It's at the early stages of the construction. So as that project carries on, I'd like to gain a lot more responsibility in the payments and making sure that the supply chain are paid for the works that they complete on site.
So just a bit about my placement is that it's a year out from my normal undergraduate studies. I spend 2 years at university, a year out on placement and then a year back for final. It really kind of equips you with on-site experience that you wouldn't necessarily get otherwise. At university you do go on site visits, but they're kind of day-to-day. They're not really a long period of time on a site and going through the processes. So yeah, it's been really good. Why did I choose Morgan Sindall? I essentially printed off sort of the first 100 construction companies, went down the list, did some research into each one individually, sort of started a taking exercise, narrowed it down, went through the application process, went to sort of all the interviews so I could see how they worked, how they interacted with me as a placement student. I suppose the peak of my placement is the amount of responsibility that you get given so early on. You know, they do allow you to be a part of the team, and they do give you jobs that are solely yours to do. But equally, if you're ever struggling, the team is there to help you. Yeah, so having a taster of the other departments before coming on site was really invaluable. I went on rotation in design, commercial, and some M&E as well, specifically because that was perhaps one of my weaker points. It was all aimed at the project that I was going to be put on for the rest of the year. So I really got an in-depth knowledge of the design process and the funds and things before coming to site. And it also allows me to see how other people do their job and how I'm going to be interacting with them when on site on a daily basis.
So I studied a history degree at university, and I came out looking at grad opportunities, grad roles, grad schemes, and I sort of started looking at the construction industry, and it was Morgan Sindall in particular that seemed really interesting. They seemed like a really great business to work for, and the more I looked into quantity surveying, the more it appealed to me. I'm now on the quantity surveying pathway. I'm looking to start my masters at Nottingham-Trent University soon, and then hopefully I'll be able to follow the route into chartership. So in order to sort of progress my skills I learned from history and my history degree, I need to study my masters alongside a full-time job. This will be across 2 years. So it's called a part-time masters, and it's going to give me the opportunities to develop these skills that I need in the industry because I haven't got the sort of technical specifics in place at the moment. So the great thing about Morgan Sindall is there's so many people around me to ask the questions. So if I'm struggling with any aspects, anyone is willing to give their time to support you. So although it does seem like a lot of hard work, and I will be dedicating a lot of my time outside the day-to-day sort of 8 till 5 that we'd be expected to do as a full-time job, the good thing is I have experts around me that have all done this, they've been through these courses, and they will be able to sort of give me a helping hand along the way. Because I've come from a non-construction background, Morgan Sindall have been really supportive and they've organised for me to do a rotation around the business. This will give me exposure to how the projects progress from business development all the way through to site. And a great part of this rotation that I didn't really expect to see when I joined the company is there's a lot of people with various skill sets within the industry that are all working in not necessarily areas you'd associate with the construction industry, from various wider talent pools, and these people are really helping Morgan Sindall to be this great company that it is in the industry.
I studied law and criminology in university, so I always wanted to grow up and be this lawyer, this barrister, and I spent 3 years at university and found I wasn't quite fond of the role doing law. So I did a year out at Barclays, and there was something about working with customers and customer services, and I started being attracted to that sort of role. Ergo, I moved into business development, and I think construction came into it because it's such a thriving industry at the moment. There's so much opportunity for people like myself who wasn't too sure what they wanted to do but wanted to move into a different role. There was basically a lot of opportunity to try and do something new. So the best part of my role at the moment is this initiative, and it's basically portfolio careers. And what it is you'll almost have 80% where you'll do your day-to-day, or in my case, my day-to-day, doing business development. And then 20% is something slightly different to your day-to-day role. So you'll do 20% of an activity the company is allowing you to pursue outside of your traditional working role. And I'm really, really enjoying doing the 20%. It's given me a different perspective, a different idea of different roles within the business, and it's really a good function of Morgan Sindall to allow you the opportunity to do that.
So I went through university and then I did a year in industry, which was with Morgan Sindall Construction. There I worked at Bromsgrove Sports and Leisure Centre, which I really enjoyed, and that's what showed me that is what I want to do. I studied construction engineering management. I've been working now with Morgan Sindall for 2 years. And the three main roles that I do look after is safety, which is number one, quality, and making sure the project is handed over on time. So the type of skills you need to be an engineer is very varied because of the type of work that is carried out. The main one for me is having interpersonal skills, due to the different types of people you do meet on a day-to-day basis. Other skills include problem-solving skills. Having the ability to think on your feet is incredibly important on this job, due to the nature of it and the circumstances that do come about. Another important skill is having the technical ability in terms of mathematical skills, which is again incredibly important, as that's the natural nature of the job. And at the end of each job I get to look back and go, wow, I was a part of this project. And that is what keeps me waking up every day and coming to work with a smile.
Being with Morgan Sindall will allow me to take charge of a number of projects in the foreseeable future. This will give me a chance to learn different areas of construction and develop myself. My personal aspirations will obviously be helped by doing this and maybe going into the senior QS role. So one of the skills key for being a quantity surveyor is people skills. Being able to talk to a range of different personalities is fundamental for communication. You don't have to be an A-grade mathematician, though you will need to be in charge of the financial structures of the project, and you'll need to know how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. Being able to pay subcontractors on time and in full, and how much they're bound to pay, and having the evaluations from the client in on the right time as well. And I'm still learning every day. You're never not learning, so yeah, I'm just ready to take it on and see what happens.
For anyone joining the industry, I'd say don't be embarrassed to ask any question. There's always someone willing to give you an answer. Everyone in the industry is so welcoming, the culture is so friendly, so ask away and someone will always give you their time and help.
My 3 pieces of advice for anyone looking to get into the construction industry is: number 1, understanding how you'd like to learn, whether it be through full-time education or one-day placement a week. Number 2 is identifying what skills you're good at, because there's multiple different opportunities in the construction industry, so it'd be good to get in there with the one that you enjoy, which leads on to my 3rd one, is making sure that you wake up every single day to what you enjoy doing, and then that way you can keep learning in your career.
Morgan Sindall Construction have been very, very helpful in helping overcome any challenges that I've had. So my main advice would be to don't discount any opportunity to almost give it a chance, give it a try. The construction industry is a wide pool of jobs available, so you might find something that suits your particular strong points.
Now that I'm here, I'm really enjoying it, and you should definitely apply for a placement.